Yo! What's up, everybody? Welcome in. How's it going? I hope everybody's having a fabulous Friday. You made it. You know what? You made it to the end of the week. You did it. Congratulations. You deserve the only thing that I could possibly give you, which is a round of applause. So GG, you made it to the end of the week. We're gonna kick it today. What are we doing? What are we doing next week? What do you guys want to do next week? Next week is our last week before Christmas break. Isn't that so exciting? I will be taking like 2 weeks off for Christmas, so I'm so sorry about you for that, but like, what are you gonna do? Next week we'll probably be streaming on, if I had to guess, like Monday and Thursday. We'll be doing Age of Calamity and Blueprints just like this week. We might play two days of Age of Imprisonment. Actually, I wanna keep popping through that game at a little bit faster rate than we are. I'm kind of taking my sweet time. I may have to start doing side missions like between streams, since those are kind of taking up the majority of our stream. We only really get one story thing done per stream, which is kind of icky, so I gotta think about that. But that's a problem for future us. Today us has the problem of we're playing Blueprints. Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to give this update multiple times today. I already know. Oh, Zico's coming. Come here, baby. Hello. Hi. Hello. Yep. Hello. Okay, anyways. So, Blueprints. Alright, we played it last Friday for my birthday stream, and we had a ton of fun. I think we only made it through, like, day 5 or 6, something like that. And we made a good bit of progress. Oh my gosh, Zico, you're being crazy. I am now on day, like, 25. I've done like 20 days. I've done almost like 4 days a day since last stream. And we've gotten quite a bit done. Sorry, I think my dogs need to go out 1 second. Okay, anyways. Yeah, we're playing Blueprints today. Sorry, my dog's still outside, but I can't just leave the door open because it's freaking 2 degrees, so I'm gonna have to go let him in here in a second. But I'll go ahead and give my explanation of blueprints, and then we can move on with our lives. So what have I done in the last few days? Let's see. Where did we end? Hold on. Let me see where we ended last stream. I don't want to tell you wrong. I've done a ton, which is kind of a bummer for y'all because you won't know what's going on. Okay, I tried to do the passcode. Well, okay, I found the library. I'm trying to find, like, if I pause. Oh, golly gee, I've done a ton. Okay, so, if you know blueprints at all, then this will make sense. And if you don't, then this will not make sense. So, since last stream, I'll try to sum it up for everything. All right. So, I now have 5 out of 8 notes. Which apparently is very good for only being on day 20-something. I also have access to the Western Path, which gives me access to the shed and a different room out there every single day. I have done several random things. I've lit all the torches out in the veranda, and so now I have access down to the, like, chess puzzle and stuff. I've made it to the basement, but I don't have the basement key. I've made it through the tomb. I figured out the tomb puzzle very, very quickly. Some people commented on how quickly I picked up on the stained glass windows in the chapel. Obviously, that's what that was for. So I picked up on that. I went down into the catacombs and found the reservoir, but I didn't have the reservoir drained at the time. So I couldn't really do anything there. So I left, found the old mine. What else? I feel like nothing. I organized my notes. So if you see me looking over here every now and then, I'm looking at my notes. I have a nice little spreadsheet of each room. What do I have? Pull it up, hold on. I have a spreadsheet of each room. What chess piece was in the room, notable objects in the room, was there a safe in the room, special features that the room has, and then any notes. So that's things like occasionally spawns a chest, the eye mask, keys, or dice. I have notes on what different fruits add to your inventory. I have notes on notes that I've found. I have descriptions of pictures that I found. I have notable items that may be important later. Things like that. So that's over here. I'll look at that every now and then because there's 40-something rooms and I don't remember all of them. So that is what we will be doing today. My goals for today, in terms of blueprints, I would love to do a chess run, which is going to involve me trying to spawn a room with every single chess piece. Pawn, rook, knight, king, queen, and bishop. I would love to do that because that's pretty easy for me then to go down. That doesn't really require much. Well, it requires RNG to get the chess pieces, like the rooms for them, but not for the end goal. If I can drain the reservoir and go down to the reservoir, I would love to do that. That would be very nice. Other than that, I don't know. I do have some handwritten notes. I've taken a lot of notes on lore. The lore of the 3 siblings, the history of the area, Things like that. I did find the rumpus room, and so I did watch that cutscene. Yeah, that's all I got. Which, if you've never played Blueprints before, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And even if you have played Blueprints and you haven't completed it, then you might still not know what I'm talking about, okay? But just go with me. We're going to solve puzzle. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to go let my dog in, and then we'll get started. Okay, I've got my notes. I think I've got everything I need to get Crack-a-Lack in here. Let me pull up Blueprints and we'll start her up. Okay, and I also think I got the sound to work today. So we'll see what happens here. I wanna hide all of this. Oh, well. There we go. I feel like this isn't where I was last stream, but I also don't think it particularly matters. Chat, where are you? You're over there. I'm okay with that. Are you guys okay with being in the top left corner today? Are you gonna flip your lids? Are you gonna be okay with that? The audio might be quiet, it might be loud. I really have no idea. Couldn't tell you. Okay, I've got my notes out. I think I've got everything I need to go on an adventure. So, hopefully you guys are ready. Let's do it. On day 26, my bad. I said 25 earlier. It's 26. I need to spawn the boiler room and the lab at some point together. I've spawned a bunch of classrooms as well. All right, I have 90 steps today because I went to the sauna last night. I also have an allowance now, which you can see above me. I get 2 gems and 4 coins every single day, so that's great. So that's different. I just noticed. Originally, this was a Queen of Hearts. Now it's a Queen of Diamonds. Which we did get a note in the... it wasn't a shed. It was something else from the groundskeeper that said there's 2 starting rooms. So that's kind of interesting that that's different. I will also note that of the 2 houses, spades was the sign of one of them, and holly was the other. And so it's interesting that that's now a diamond. I want to let's do pantry. I have plenty of steps today. I can save bedrooms for later. There's a nanner there. I'm gonna do a passageway. I hate getting rid of my gems this early, but what can I do? Let's spawn a bedroom, and then maybe we can spawn a dead end here. That would be ideal. Okay, my only choice here is a guest bed. Which is fine. I was kind of hoping for car keys, but that's okay. I won't be upset about that. And nothing looks new in here, so let's continue. Let's go this way. Dark room is a bummer. I could do a commissary. That might be good for today, actually. Let's see what they have for sale today. Gem, magnifying glass, and a shovel. Honestly, I'll take a shovel. I might regret that later. But I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, I don't need to go to the right because I have the passageway, so let's do the den. No chest in the den today. I don't know what puzzle is in here yet, so let's go this way. Once again, darkroom is such a bummer here. I'll spawn it, but I won't go in. I like the... I like the hallway pickup here. Just because if I go back to the passageway, I can go to the right. Hello, Skelly! Yes, I am very much enjoying this game. Far too much. Okay, so this is kind of a bummer, but I'm gonna spawn a chapel here just because that, well... it gives us free access to 2 more rooms, and I don't have to go back to the left. I don't really like spawning the chapel. But I will do it. Okay, and that's locked. Alright. Let's go... It's okay. We don't have that much money anyways. I feel like this gem looks like the same one that's on the basement door, but I'm pretty sure the one on the basement door is a circle. So, that's fun. Okay, we go in here. I do already have the shovel, which is nice. If I get the kennel, that would be a huge help to me today. Kennel would be a great pickup. I like the secret passage pickup here. You have 2 more days of school before Christmas. Congratulations! That's so exciting. I like the... Shoot. We'll do the reading nook pickup because I need the key. I'm very low on supplies today. Okay, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We have a ton of steps, and I'm making too much progress forward. I'm gonna go back to the beginning. See if I can spawn maybe some bedrooms. That would help us out. I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and lose that. In case I find the utility closet. I'm gonna go towards the pantry. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, now we go this way. We'll do a spare room. Not my favorite pickup right there. Office would have been so good. That's okay. Parlor's fine too, because it gets me gems. Assuming I'm smart enough today to figure out the puzzle. The words another box are on another box. The truth is on another box. The gems are in another box. Okay, so this is true. So one of these has to be false. The truth is on another box, which is true. The gems are in another box, which has to be false. If those other two are true. Booyah. We're so smart. I don't... I'm gonna do a storeroom because it's gonna dead end us, but that's fine because we can get the room to the east of us from the dark room, and the gem wouldn't give us any sort of, or the patio wasn't gonna give us any buffs that we couldn't get on our own from that spare room. Okay, so we'll go here. We'll go into the passageway. We'll go north through the passageway. Yeah, show me observatory. How many stars is that? 12. Okay, I can't use the telescope today because it will give me a debuff. Yeah. No. We're not doing that. Not today. I do like the courtyard pickup. I'm gonna do it. Just because it will have dirt patches and gems. There's also a chest in here, which would be nice. Ooh, okay. I'm okay with making this be a dead end, honestly. Let's do a coat check. I don't have an item that I want to put in there right now. But I'm okay with that being a dead end. And then we go this way. Through the commissary. Through the den. Do I risk it for the biscuit in the dark room? Probably. I'll take a blind guess here. What do we win? The library. Okay. That's kind of a bummer, but that's all right. What's the objective of this game? Strictly speaking, it's to find room 46, but there are only 45 rooms. So you're solving the puzzles in the other 45 rooms to try to find the 46th room. Anyways. Okay, so I bought this book from the bookstore, so I need to read it. The Curse of Blackbridge by Redford Ewing. The legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and, as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I've heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of the tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Black Bridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1, Berry Pickers from Oris. Which, that's the symbol of Mount Holly right there. And Oris. Yeah, okay. Holy moly, this is a long story. Okay, welcome to Storytime with DSM. Here we go. I hope you guys are ready. Buckle up, buttercups. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often valued their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high road robbery. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyways to sustain his pitiful existence. It's not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardship would take an easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations leading out of the city and into the gentry lands, where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, the notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, hello? Oh, there we go. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned to the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he worked alone while others slept soundly, tucked away in a cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthest most berry patches without having to worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended along the leaves seemed as numerous as the stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. Despite the hardened circumstance... Oh, wait. There we go. A carriage is approaching. The thought of it made Jesper freeze. He had been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings. How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept towards the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment before the sound's source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around the corner of trees, led by two beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "Boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted, with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death coming around the bend of my own drive and seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not to be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. "I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket to allow the driver to see proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expression on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing... This doesn't seem like a very, scary, horrifying story like they said. It's kind of sus. Anyways, Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know! What luck I found them. I have only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far." Jesper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods." "My God, that's far. You couldn't have come all this way only this morning." It was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction Jesper had traveled, and while the response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Black Bridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. "Sir, I've traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there's no distance yet made by man that would not be worthy undertaking for a prize such as these." "In my youth often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. And even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage. I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward." It was Jesper's time to smile, then let my efforts reward us both today. "Jimothy, go stream. You're supposed to stream in 3 minutes. Get out of here." "Get Shoo. Go tend to your ducklings." Just had the mod for a second. I'll pull you up in a second and bean you or something. I have to. I know I don't have to. I don't have to do anything. It's my privilege to be new. Twice. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. At the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Okay, hey, I found the horrifying part, guys. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Don't mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause, though I will admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you in the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse on your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing towards the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smiling kindness Jesper had seen on the man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished gold facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat. A large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all 4 sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Arindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Ooh. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He headed over to the nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised by how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping for an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. You are cursed, boy. For deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed. Ooh, doo-wee-doo-wee-oo. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what? And in God's name, why have you no purse on your person? The man did not seem intimidated. 1 pace. He paused for effect. 12 more, and you will be dead. He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If ever there was a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 to 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do, to be discovered here? Beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries, and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he helplessly looked about him for a solution. And, by some stroke of luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him as if he had found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses in a carriage of golden trim were beside him, and the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task was too great a chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. If it's cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud to the horses, seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. All right, part 2. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such an ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness within the cave, Miller remembered. She was on 3rd watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful not to wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. Then she walked towards the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following her finger, and she saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in the tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment of the outpost. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they likely would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound, but Miller appreciated the efforts of Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that was spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing, and the day the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmlands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions nor hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs of the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary, gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month along the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Black Guard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Black Bridge was an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to the leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. Seemed smart. The men had nearly reached the bridge's northern end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expressions. This did not sound like the typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had nocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravi was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and the girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had been expecting cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. Yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle slipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of the sudden halt immediately shattered the two front wheels and catapulted the driver from the seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth, as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia coming among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces from the front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved of stone. Ah! Uh-oh! Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave. But he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in darkness, in the back of one of the large cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sound of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her, but even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could also be heard. Louder speech than she had ever spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed two bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Black Guard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Well, that was spooky. I don't really know what that gains us, other than if I see an effigy, I shouldn't touch it. Okay. Noted. Now where do I go? I can go dark room. Pick a door. Pick a door. Ooh. A decent pickup. Ooh. Kennel. I like the kennel pickup, honestly. Because I already have the shovel. Which is nice. Hi, puppies. Good puppies. There's also a note in here that has a cat on it. Okay, give me... Honestly, they're all dead ends, so give me the locksmith. Let me see what's for sale here. Alright, I would consider coming back here for a specialty key. Alright, now we go back through the dark room, the hallway. Yeah. Sorry, puppies. Goodbye. Okay, we go in here. Den, hallway, and to the right. Use a key. Okay. Aquarium, cloister. Aquarium. Dining room is an okay pickup. Even better because there's a key. I love netting on keys. I should go pick what room I want. Or like what kind of room I want. I want another hall. I like the Great Hall. I'm gonna do it. Let's do drawing room. This way I can pick new floor plans if I need to. Make sure we get that gem. Okay, I like the pool room. If I get the pump room again, I can drain it and get a good amount of money. There's the pump room. We can do that really easily. That will give us some money. Alright, let's flip the aquarium. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yippee. We can... go to the pool. And we can drain the pool. We fill the aquarium. I know what happens if you drain the fountain. I know what happens if you drain the pool. I don't know what happens if you drain the kitchen or the greenhouse. Okay. Let's get some money here. Okay. Do I go ahead and drain? No, I'm not gonna drain anything. I'm gonna go back. I should go ahead and do this. Oh, the dead end really stinks. We'll do the wine cellar. Gems are always a good pickup. Okay, these are the combined symbols of the families. not found anything else in here to interact with. I am fascinated by the bottles, though. But yeah, I have nothing with which to interact in here. Okay, so now we go this way. Hopefully this door's unlocked. It's not, I remember that now. Okay, we go... I might could buy some keys. Passageway, pantry. Alright, I think we go outside now and see what this could lead to out here. Let's do a tool shed and hope for a sledgehammer. Yepo. Thank you. Okay. And I wanted that because there was a chest. In the courtyard that hopefully has keys. There we go. Hello. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. What a bummer, bro. Alright. We can go back to the locksmith and see if there's anything we can buy. Hello, puppers. Okay, I can buy one key. Where do we go? Perhaps the reading nook? I won't draft the library, which is kind of a bummer. I already have a library today. Alright, Stay's not dead yet. found all of the, or I've already read all of these. I'll just pick one. Okay. We go to coat check and we check our shovel. Methinks. Shoot, how do I get there? Commissary, passageway. Observatory? Observatory. Coat yard. Coat check. Here we go. Alright, we check our shovel. And then we call it. Alright. Not bad. Not my favorite day, but that's okay. Kind of feel like we wasted our sauna, but it's alright. Alright, continuing on. Alright. I don't know why that's a queen of diamonds now. Okay. Moving on with our lives. Okay. We'll draft it to get out of the way, but it'll be a last-ditch thing. I'll do a courtyard. There are a lot of chests today. So rude. All right. Let's do... You know, honestly, I'm okay with drafting a bedroom here. Ooh, car keys. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Let's do... Let's do the workshop. Is this a different letter that's been on here? It is. It was a C before. Okay, I don't really have any tools to combine right now, so we'll just kind of move on right now. Keycard door over there is a bummer, but there's still potential. Hot take, I'm gonna do the closet. There might be a key card. Oh, I lost the Gamba. What a bummer. What a bummer, dude. Okay, we go back to the drawing room, which is much like the drawing board, but it's a room. And we grab this gem. My kingdom for a sledgehammer, yo. I'm probably gonna have to go back to the chapel for that. No, we do the observatory. I think that's fine. What's my next? 15? Okay. Free library. Ooh, a magnifying glass. Thank you. Sightseer's Guide to Reddington. I think I've looked at all this. Yeah, okay. I do want to go this way, and I think it's worth the key because we're in the library, which is going to give us unique rooms. Security is a hot take here. Bookshop is also good. I'm gonna do security because I can turn off the door. Since I don't have a stupid key card. Unless there's one in here. Alright, I don't see one. Alright, I'm gonna turn the key cards off. Key Keycard system. We'll turn on low for now. We're gonna turn the default to unlocked. Hopefully I find a... Hopefully I find a utility room here at some point. Yeah, sure, we use a key, that's fine. I'm gonna have to eventually. Corridor is always unlocked. We for sure do that. I can draft second copies of room we already have in the house. Commissary. We'll do commissary. Maybe there will be a sledgehammer for sale.
Okay, I found this on the web.
Oh, whoa, Siri, what the heck?
Check it out.
Siri, what is wrong with you? Go away. Stop. What the heck? Why are you listening to me? Shoo. That was crazy. Okay. So good news, fam. There's a sledgehammer for sale. So that's great news for us. Alright, we start making our way back. Nothing in here. Yippee-ki-yay. Was there one in here? I don't remember. No. Okay. I'm gonna run my way towards courtyard. There was one in here. Yup. Aw, heck yeah, brother. Alright, we go to the chapel. There wasn't one in the den. Through the pantry into the chapel. This is the first time we've actually walked in this room. Okay, I could just unlock all the security doors. I kind of feel like that's worth it. Card entry system power off. Gymnasium we turn off. Garage we turn on. Yep. Alright. Good sauce. Oh, shut up. I don't remember where the other chest was. Which is a big booty bummer. I don't know, but we definitely go to the foundation next. Because that should be powered off now. Right? Yeah. You just double check that it wasn't in here. It was not. Didn't think so. It was in a weird room. I remember thinking that it was odd that it was in this room, but okay. Okay, workshop. It was not in the workshop. Okay, that letter is still the same. I need to go back through my notes and check and see what the letters of each workshop have been. It's so annoying. My peeves are pet over that. Okay, so the lights are off in the gym, so I don't actually lose steps, which is nice. And this is also now powered down. I should really go back to security and ooh. Hot take, I'm gonna do it. Because Because that's 3 keys. And an open garage door. Which means I can go outside. Oh yeah. Okay. Alright, we move on with our lives. Ballroom. Whenever you enter ballroom, set your gems to 2 gems. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, here's a billiards room. We do this puzzle. A divided by 4 is 2. 20 minus 15 is 5. Times 3 is 15. Divided by 15 is 1. 10 minus 2 is 8. 80, 10? Is that how math works? A silver key. Alright, cool. We're kind of cooking. Kind of. Not really. Yep, boudoir. There should be 2 gems in here, which will be good for us. So these gems that are in the safes, are they from the royal crown that got stolen by our mother? Attic is new. We can't get it. Is it worth going back to utility closet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We could make it there and back. Oh, shoot. I did have the car keys. Okay. No, we risk it for the biscuit. I'm gonna use my special key, honestly. I'm not gonna be able to see what it is. That one. Oh, big cringe. Oh, big cringe. Okay, alright, let's go back to the garage. Forgot that I had the car keys today. Ding. Key card and shmoney. I haven't actually ever opened the car. I've only ever done the back. The drop-off address is 14227 Sandy Heights, a small garage on the south edge of Trimsdale. The goods are already secure in the trunk, and so just unload and get back here before noon. I've seen Sinclair's schedule, and I don't think he'll be requesting the car today, but you never know when the cat will want to get some air. Tomorrow will likely be the last delivery, and I believe Denny already has payment ready. Okay. Let me write down this address. Garage. 14227 Sandy Heights. Okay. Beep beep. Cool. Okay, well, we have a shortcut now. We can go to the western grounds. That gate's still closed. I don't know what would really save us here. If I could get to the secret garden... No. I would need a greenhouse. Or if I could find the lever, the broken lever in here, and then find the greenhouse, that would work. I don't think I can find the greenhouse at this point, though. Let me think about this. I don't think there's anything in the trading post I could get that could save me right now. I can show you guys what's in the tomb. Oh, wait, don't I have... Oh, no, pump room was yesterday. The pool and the pump room were yesterday. Okay. Big booty bummer. That's okay. Whee! Do I have to redo this puzzle every time? Or can I just go? Yippee! I can just go. Huzzah! Down we go. Into the catacombs. Spooky. What the heck? Brother. Open sesame, dog. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, this is what the catacombs look like. I've already looked through a lot of this. I don't know what to do about this. It's just kind of in the way, which is a big booty bummer. I don't know how to reach each of these, which is equally a big booty bummer. Yeah. So anyways, that's fun. This is the abandoned mine. I should have drained the reservoir. Probably would still be drained if I had. Upgrade disc. That's a good find. I can... I might be able to make it back up to security to do that. Oh. She's very full right now. Mayhaps if I just had one bar down, then I could use the boat. This is gonna be completely flooded then. Hello, big mama. Okay. Alright. Problem's gonna be if I drain it all the way, there's no way for me to actually, like, explore. I have to get to the other side, so I need it drained one notch. And then I need it eventually drained all the way, is what we just learned. Alright. So if I have the opportunity for the pool and pump, I should probably do it. Just so we can get those puzzles solved. I'm amassing so much knowledge. So much useless knowledge. I would love something that would help me light things on fire. Like if I could take a candle, that would be very lit. That would be very cash money. Because I would love to light these two candles to see what ominous thing happens. And then I would also love to light the dynamite. Ah! That's in the shed. Because I'm a freak. And I love chaos. Yeah. Yubble. Anyways. Alright. We go install the disc. Those two are also not lit. Alright, what's the quickest way to the disc? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Utility closet? Nope, not utility closet. I want to go to security. Security! I'm going through garage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that gets us there. I don't particularly care about being efficient right now. This is the last thing we're gonna do, despite having 1,000 friggin' keys. We have a lot of items today. We're dead-ended, which is a bummer. But not the end of the world either. I want to go through the foundation, workshop, hallway, drawing room. Yeah. Foundation, workshop, hallway. Then I think I want to go, yeah, drawing room, observatory, library. Here we go. Hello. Give me that upgrade, please. Thank you. Ooh, an aquarium upgrade. Plus 10 coins, plus a star. Power source. What the heck? What does that mean? What does this do? Heck it. Let's do it. I'm no coward. Alright. That's pretty much all we can do today. So I'm gonna call it a day there, and I'm gonna run to the restroom and then be right back, alright? Okay, I went and got some cheese puffs. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back through all my days and see which days I drafted the workshop. It hasn't been that many. Maybe 3 times. Alright. Give me... give me a dead end. Why not? I'm feeling bold today. You know what? I'm gonna go draft our outside room. Just to see what our options are today. See if I can do it without moving my camera. Because I want to eat some Cheetos. Oh, yeah! Nice. Honestly, all of the choices are pretty dank. I'm gonna draft a tool shed. I love me a sledgehammer. I don't know how much I actually need the magnifying glass anymore. I've needed it for a couple things. But nothing in like a really long time. Alright, we go this way. This is a good thing to have early on. I am in fact locking myself out of the eastern wing. I'm okay with that. Doors are more likely to be locked. I don't feel like running out of steps today. I've been doing that recently. Oh yeah, give me a den. I dig it. Yeah, we opt to not worry about that chapel right there. Grab a little bit of extra shmoney. We grab an apple. And we draft a corridor. This is actually a great place to put this. Plus I get an extra 5 steps. No goodies in here. Oh, nope. Dice. There's dice in here today. Give me a... Courtyard's kind of a good pickup. We'll do courtyard. That gives me 2 gems. That door's unlocked automatically. Ooh, that's not good. We might be done for the day. That's a huge bummer. Shoot. Huh. Yeah, yo, I think we're cooked today. I think that was a bust of a day. That's a huge bummer. Alright, let's go outside. I want to remind myself of what's out there in the universe. We can go to our campsite. Hello, our campsite. There's nothing in here about but the note. Yeah. Sure. I've already turned that gas on. Okay, let's go to the orchard. Nothing in here. Okay. What a bust of a day, bro. That's pretty tragic, honestly. But it happens. Man, that courtyard being locked with the security door is wild. Never in my wildest dreams. Alright. Okay, we try again. Okay. Let's do spare room. We'll do walk-in closet. 4 items is really good early on. Sleeping mask, 2 gems, and a key. Cool. Maybe we'll get trading post today. That would be nice. I would like a trading post. Especially if I have a lot of items. Let's do corridor. My favorite thing to be drafting hallways this early, but what can you do? Sleeping mask goes crazy. Dead end. Let's do a commissary. I won't go in. Don't need to go in. Let's go this way. Ooh, all of these options are not ideal. What do I think? Let's dead end it. I hate that, but what can you do? Let's do a hallway. I like being able to draft different ones later on. Maybe this will be a dead end. That would be nice. I love that for us. Drafting dead ends where they're good to be. show me. Ooh. Let's do parlor here. Coin purse. Hell yeah. Hey, Thinkwell. Get this, and then the other two boxes are true. This box does not contain the gems. This box contains the gems. Okay. If that's true, then this one cannot be true. The other two boxes are not true. So which one of you is false? This box contains the gems. This box does not contain the gems. You're the false one. Give me that. No! I've been taken for a fool. I dig a veranda pickup. I do. Sledgehammer. Nice. That's very exciting. Let's honestly. No. Chapel's fine. It's a bummer, but it's fine. We go pantry here. We go. I like the courtyard pickup. I'm not gonna go in there yet. I want to go over here. We need a key. It's fine. Let's do dining room. Probably wasn't my best choice there, but it's too late now. West Wing Hall. That's fine. It gives me two options. Draft me a dead end, please. That's not worth it. It might be worth it, actually. Hear me out. If this is the coat check. That's a bummer. Her ladyship chamber. That's interesting. We'll do that. Because that gives me, next time I drop boudoir, or next time I enter boudoir, I get 10, and the next time I enter the walk-in closet, which I already have, I get 3 gems. This also gives me a queen card, which is nice. I already looked at everything in here. Nothing really made sense yet. Okay, let me go to the other dining room door and see if it's locked. I need to check doors before I walk out of them. Ooh, rotate floor plan. Oh. Oh. Sure. I already looked at the manifestos in here, so we can move on with our lives. Tell you what, it's not that far to the courtyard. Let's go to the courtyard. Oh, the metal detector's in here. It's not a huge deal. I'm not a big fan of the metal detector. It's nice. Because I occasionally miss things. Ooh, Jimmy boys. Hello. Oh, coat check. Heck yeah. Is that what I want, though? Not really. Listen, I love me a good coat check, but like, alright, I don't have the key card yet. That's fine. Library is what we're gonna have to do over here, which is fine. This guy. Pool is a great pickup here. I can get money today. That's good. Yippee-ki-yay. Wait. Oh, car keys. Nice. Yeah, let's do it. We key here. We definitely do security. For sure. Let's go ahead and disable... we'll change low, and we'll do offline mode to unlocked. That way if we get a utility closet, we can take care of those doors without the key card. Ooh, money. Alright, let me go this way first. This was a dead end. That's pretty dope. I like that. I do like the conference room. That opened that door. Thank you very much for that. Drew the vault, which is kind of a bummer, but it's okay. Does not matter what is here. So let's pick this one. Sauna, really? Okay. Alright, I get 20 extra steps tomorrow. That's cool. I dig it. Okay. So onwards. I don't think I checked the security door. I think I turned around. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I want to go... Ideally, I feel like we go to the commissary and we buy keys. I've really screwed myself by stowing the shovel, haven't I? I need to find that room. Okay, I need to go to the courtyard. Through here. Which way do I want to go? To the pantry. Through the pantry. Through the nook. Ugh. Cringe. Veranda, parlor, hallway. Yep. Veranda. Parlor, hallway. And the commissary is through here. Through here, through the bedroom, into the commissary. Hello. Oh. Okay, no keys for sale. What a bummer, brother. Alright, we go outside. That's fine, we go outside. What do I want to drain next? I think next, I feel like the next thing that we drain is definitely the reservoir, right? At least down to 1 so I can get in the boat. Items for trade. Absolutely. Give it to me. Coin purse. Trade for the compass. Compass. Trade for salt. Salt. Trade for battery pack. Battery pack. Trade for salt. Salt. Battery. Okay. That's a bummer. Let's do... car keys for compass. Compass for salt. Salt for dice. Okay. Yeah, oh, sure. I'll take a die. Metal detector for lockpick set. I definitely will take that trade. Magnifying glass for salt. Salt for dice. I want the rest of those. Okay, so lockpick kit is a decent pickup. Okay, I have 3 doors I can attempt to pick. 33 steps to do it. Alright. We can do it. Hopefully the shoes save us here. To the dining room, to the West Wing Hall. Dining room. West Wing Hall. Okay, that was a no there. Here we go to the Dovecote. Check the store. Alright. Okay. Boudoir. That gives us 2 more gems. Got lucky there. I'm gonna redraw. I'm a big fan of Observatory. 14, I need 1 more. Give me the coat check. I need that shovel back. I'm fierce. Hello. Retrieve item. Give me my shovel back. Thank you, you horrible human being. Okay. Alright, we should be able to check a bunch of stuff now with the shovel. Okay. Praise be. That's very exciting. There's potential here now. At least I'm not gonna run out of steps today, which is nice. Foundation. I'm gonna go to the courtyard and do some shoveling. What do I need? I need an office. An office would be nice. Here's a key. There we go. Can we activate that? Thank you. Pebbles. Nail. Okay, probably West Wing Hall is what we should use this key on, right? Like, we're all in agreement of that. Pump room. I don't have a laboratory, but that's okay. We do it anyways. Oh. Right, this is the pump room. Okay, so now we have the choice, right? I could drain the reservoir. I kind of feel like that's the play, honestly. Reservoir's number 2. Now we wait. It's gonna be a minute. Pizza angel, please come to me. Okay. Now we have to figure. I think we just click on pool, and it continues filling, and then we just continue flipping back and forth between the reservoir and the pool, right? Alright, this should be sufficient for draining the reservoir. So next time we draft the tomb, it will be gone, which will be nice. We will be able to explore it. Can I not? Oh, hello. We 3 keys in the pump room. Okay. I think that's as drained as it can be, no? Because I don't know how to fill the reserve tank. I see no lever to fill up the reserve tank. So I think that's as empty as the reservoir can be. Which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Okay, but we have 3 keys now, which means we can go back to security. Is the car ready? I'm gonna have to go through here again. And then through Cloister, conference room, doesn't matter where I go from here. Pool is filled again, yippee! Go through here, through security. Alright. We move on. That's nice. That worked. East Wing Hall. There should be nothing in here. We move on. That's fine. Alright, kennel it is. Hello, doggies. Do you have a dirt patch for me today, puppers? An old shoe! What else would I expect these? Oh, I can pet the puppies! I didn't realize I could pet the puppies! Best game ever. Alright, we go to kitchen. You know, I'm not gonna buy anything yet. Oh, this is such a good day, bro. Okay, the kitchen has water. That's nice. I'm astonished that this is unlocked. Yeah, you know what? Let's do the workshop. Okay, today's a W. Oh, there's the lever. I doubt that I can make it to the southern antechamber entrance, much less find a greenhouse. But let's see what we can make here. Broken lever with all of these. Fascinating. What happens if we mix the lever with the battery pack in the sledgehammer? Power hammer? What the heck? What the heck is a power hammer? What the heck? What are you talking about? What does it do? Can knock down weak brick walls. Huh? You mean all those places that I've been like, this wall looks sus? You mean I can just hammer them down? That's crazy. What are you talking about? That's insanity. Okay, I need the key card. Is what I need. I wish I could let the puppies out to run around with me. That would make this life much less lonely. Okay. I want to go... I don't know where I want to go. Back to the trading post, mayhaps? I get 20 extra steps tomorrow, which is nice. That was a happy accident. Foundation. Pantry. Nook. Shedging. I'll check these dirt patches. Silver key. That's nice. I would love a key card though. Key card would be great. We're stopped right now by key card. I might be able to trade for it at the post. I don't know. That's kind of my only real option. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to get the key card. I don't know what I would use the power hammer on. I've seen a few walls I would use it on, but I don't remember where. Vault key is pretty dank. Lucky Rabbit's such a bummer. We try. No. It's another dead end. Lucky Rabbit's foot. Shovel. Lockpick kit for the coin purse for the compass for dice, for salt for die. Where have I seen weak walls? Okay. Do I put the power hammer in coat check, or do I put the vault key in coat check? I kind of feel like I put the vault key in coat check. I could take the power hammer down. I don't think it does me any good, though. I don't know. I feel like we just make our way back to the coat check. Kind of feel like that's what we have to do here. I mean, I could try going to the basement. Just seeing if the key card is down there. I don't know if it's worth. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, I have enough. Let's go. Let's just go. Alright, there was nothing down there. Let me go back up. It doesn't really matter where I go from here. Go this way, then this way. That meal came in absolute clutch. Okay, let's check. Gosh, I'm so tempted to do the power hammer. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Until I remember what. Ooh, I got a Her Ladyship manor. Nice. Alright, next day. Alright. Let's go this way. We'll do a parlor, that's fine. I'm not a huge fan of parlor game, but... Wow, I really thought that was gonna be it. What a waste. Library. Coupon book. Nice. I don't really have any books I want to check out right now. Servants' quarters, bookshop. Tell you what, I'm gonna do a bookshop. I think I need 50 coins to get the unaltered history of Arindia. Yeah, shut up. I know, I don't have any coin. Khajiit has no coin. Yeah, let's do commissary. Maybe it ends at a dead end. Let's see what's for sale today. Salt shaker, shovel, sleeping mask, and metal detector. If I get one more coin, I can get the shovel. Den it is. Give me that. I'm not gonna go that way though. We're gonna go this way instead. Give me a nook. Give me a key. Another library. Conference room or security. Conference room. I need the daggone key card. All right. This is a dead end. I need a key card. Which is fine. That's why we have a ton of dead steps today. Walk straight through. Never noticed that book. Anyways. I dig a courtyard. Always have, always will. Okay, I wonder if there's brick in here. Oh, there's the shovel. Perfect. Gosh. I'm trying to think of where I've seen brick. Outside, which we didn't go outside to check. Okay, we'll do the pantry, that's fine. Any fun items? No. Moving on. Ooh, heck yeah, brother. Look at all this garbage. Key and shoes. Okay. Yep. Yep. Free door. Where, what, when, how, whomst? Where, what, when, how, why? Fair enough. Kitchen it is. Nothing crazily of interest in here to me at the moment. Study. I like the billiards room more. Guaranteed fun time in here. Okay, 1. 10 minus 4 is 6, minus 1 is 5, minus 2 is 3, times 2 is 6, times 1. 18 minus 12 is 6, times 2 is 12, divided by 6 is 2. 11 plus 5 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. Divided by 4 is 8. bueno. 2 keys. You'll love to see it. Mm-hmm. Take a boudoir. Take that and a secondary. I don't think I've been back to the study since I opened the safe. I could spread money, and it's gonna go to the conference room. There's also a gem in here. And there's the king. So now I just need spread gold in the estate. Spread gold. Okay. Alright. I want to look around in here a little bit. Last time we were here, we discovered this hint, March of the Count, and we opened that safe over there. The antechamber lever in the greenhouse is broken again. The east and west levers are in fact functional. We have checked that. I would love... I still don't know how to log into the network, which is kind of a bummer. I would love to know how to do that. I feel like it's really obvious, and it's gonna be the thing that screws me over the most. To a hallway. Oh, vault is crazy. Such a bummer, brother. Drawing room? Storeroom? Drawing room. Technically gains me 1 option. Let's do a storeroom. Okay. Net zero a gem there, which is nice. This is now a power source. Which I'm kind of confused about. Does that mean there's power in the archives now? If I draft an archive... Music room. Whoa. I'm tempted to get the power hammer, but I feel like that's gonna be more common than the music room. And I've never been in the music room, so let's go in here. This is a secret garden key. That's fine. Find here within these first words sung the key you seek in the major tongue, but half the sheets are missing from the 4 you hold, the rest are far flung. A half note held is quite the pun among this scattered symphony, a message hidden beneath the keys in bold words sung by you and me. First words. The ones of you who oft assume that you alone can solve this tune are likely going to get your due and all the rage that one will ensue while working on this simple clue. First words on white pages lined with melodies do hide the words we've come to seek, and from our choice among all these we write down the ones that seem to be the loudest type of the ink that bleeds. First words on the hold on. Hold. That's number 4. Let me look at my sheet music notes. Number 5 is first words on the sheets. Six, 7 sheets, blank, blank, message. It probably are the message, if I had to guess. Which means that the true message is find a... Wait. First words on the sheet. Maybe it's spell the message. Hold on, did I record any other sheet music? I don't think I did. I've only found the 2. The sheet music in the workroom is number 8. The only one I have before that is number 5. Okay, so I'm missing some. Denoted in verse. I saw something like this earlier. This room is fascinating, but albeit kind of unhelpful. I can't play the music. Okay, first words on the sheets. Something, something message. Could be are the... spell the... Could be... Yeah, so find among the white trees. Find among the white trees something something stones. Okay, well, we don't know what the white trees are. So that's not super helpful to us. And then something about a stone. Oh, I thought that was a sledgehammer. I got so excited for a second. Okie dokie. Get it? Major and minor key? Oh, you're so funny. E-store. I need the secret garden, but now I have the secret garden key. Alright. If I find the archives, I can probably figure this puzzle out too. There was an arrow pointing to this. Okay, office, boudoir, billiards. I feel like there has to be something about the network key in here. Yo, Porgs! Welcome in. We're solving some puzzles. Alright. Billiard kitchen foundation. Alright, we go this way. Oh, that's really unfortunate. So we draft the lavatory. Yup. Toilet. Wasted a key, baby. Yeah, I hate to see it. Alright, straight through the chapel we go. Sure, take my money. Yep. Nook, library, conference room. Oh, right. I did a money spread. If I get 50 coin, I can buy the unredacted history. Which is pretty nice. Yep. Use. Okay, we have to do East Wing Hall. I have no gems. I also have not drafted an outer room today, which could be beneficial to us. Greenhouse. Power hammer. This is my only option. Okay. I have plenty of steps, so I think we go to the outside room. Do we just start banging on things? Like, I feel like that's my only option here with this power hammer. I feel like I just start slapping stuff. I don't have to go through here. I can go through the bookstore. I have 36 coin. Can I buy anything? I can buy Realm and Rune. I'm gonna see if I can get 14 more coin first. I kind of doubt it, but it'll be worth a shot. Oh my gosh, I haven't drafted this room. Workshop's kind of crazy. We'll do it. This will give me another letter at least. Anyways, here's number 8 from earlier. There's the lever. Should have drafted that greenhouse. Stack of it. Shovel detector, baby. Nice. Perfect. Kind of weird to have that at the first room, but it's okay. No judgment from me, baby. Shelter. Tool shed or hovel. We take tool shed and we hope that it's a key card. No, it's a battery pack and a magnifying glass. Alright. I wonder if I can... can I hit things, like, in the mine over here? Okay, I'm gonna check all the outdoor air. Oh, okay, hold on. There's also the... maybe I could, like, smash some crates that are down below. Maybe. Can I smash the bird? No. Okay. How far are we into the game? No real way to gauge that. Yeah, not really. I have 5 out of 8 of the notes, and I'm pretty confident how to solve a goodly number of puzzles. But I have not had the opportunity to do them, to do these things. Okay, I really don't think there's going to be anything over there for me to hit with a hammer. Okay, maybe I can break the boxes down below with the hammer. Maybe. So looking for dirt patches, that would give me... the well is still full. Dirt patches would give me a key, that would be really nice. There's... oh! Hello. Sealed entrance. Okay, this is new. Scripts for Redford Mining Company. Patent for high pressure condenser. Patent number. I'm probably gonna need that patent number. Even though it's fake. It's okay. Excavation progress is going smoothly and crew spirits are higher than they have been in weeks. I believe this increased morale is due in small part to the installation of a boiler, which honestly has been a godsend. We now have steam power, no longer have to rely on raw muscle to scrape and heave at clay like dogs. The new steam-powered hoists and winches are fully operational. We've been able to unearth over 5 times as much sediment per shift as previous. Okay. Well, I can definitely hit this. It's a different color. Oh. Oh, we're in the basement. Okay, so if I get the key card and get stuck in the house, I can come through here and get to the foundation. I'm picking up what you're putting down, boyos. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I understand. What in the gravy biscuits is this place? Okay. Looking. I see very little. This place is mighty weird. We'll go up here though. Can I jump? What am I doing up here? What the heck, brother? What am I doing up here? Ah! I done fell down. Okay, so it looks like there's a bunch of crap down here. And one really spooky, ominous light. I'm not gonna activate that. Just because I feel like it's gonna go forward and seal me off from being in here. And I don't want that. Although it could provide a way for me to walk up. Okay, so it very clearly wants me to... Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Read book. Yep, read book. Read book. Read book. There's the door. Can I grab this? I sure can. I need to get behind there. But here's the rest of the basement. You're missing an item in your hand. I don't have the key to that. Okay. I'm very clearly trying to get to that button right there. That is very clearly my end goal here. Alright, we push this all the way out. Is that a number? No, that's a pipe. Okay. Okay. We go uppies. We go acrossies. We go downies. We go across. Glorious. And then we're gonna wanna pull this as tight as possible. Can I push? No. But I don't need... Hold on. Hold on. I don't need the other thing anymore. So we can get it. Push this out of the way. You raise me up. Nice. We'll be able to walk across this right-hand side. And then we'll get... Oh, whoops. Not far enough. Oh, I need to push it back. I need to push it back. I do need to push that back. Maybe to like there? Wait, no. It has to go all the way across. Yeah. Yeah, that has to happen. I think. Can we push that to there? And then I need to be able to walk across all of this. So do I pull this back like a kiss and a half? I think we just have to go see what's over there. I haven't been over there yet, so let's go find out. Well, first of all, secrets are no fun. Secrets are for everyone. 100 bells. Sandy Heights, 5 p.m. Okay, well, Sandy Heights was the place on the note that we wrote down the address for. Okay. Antechamber controls. North lever. Underground. North of the reservoir. Antechamber. Okay, we knew the rest of this. One backup lever for each antechamber door has been installed in separate locations for redundancy. However, we have been told that the locations of this reserve system will not be disclosed to the staff. There are hidden levers. Okay. Yeah, I'll buy that. Sure thing. I don't go up here. No, yes. There we go. I push the button. What do I win? Ooh. Okay. Can I smash you? No. Okay. I've made it to the reservoir. Right, I did not pull that back. Silly me. Hold on. I wasn't able to drain it all the way, but I don't know how I would. I don't have the boiler room today either. Oh, this is such a bummer. Okay. But I now have access to the basement, so it's not the end of the world. I am bummed about that, though. I should have moved that. Okay. What? That does me no good in this moment because I can't get there. Okay, hold on. More than one way to do this. That led me to that one. This one's gonna lead me to this one. Is this gonna do the same thing? This is gonna do the same thing. Oh, it didn't. Okay, this is gonna give me access to the paper over here, which is exciting. This all looks important. You found a secret floor plan. Would you like to permanently add Mechanarium to your drafting pool? Mechanarium has one door for each mechanical room in your house. Okay. Aha. Okay. It just said that there's a lever north of the reservoir, which is where we're at right now. So... to north lever. Okay, I understand. Catacombs, number 7, torch chamber. We have not been there. Goodness. We saw this map before. Oh. Oh. Okay. Easy peasy. So this is just a map of where we are right now. If I had figured out how to drain the reservoir just a little bit more. I don't know how to do that, though. Okay. Alright, so the north lever is that way. We gotta figure out how to get over there. Push that dang minecart. That's a bummer. I don't have access to the tomb. No way to delay that. Okay. I want to go back and look at that map. So we can get down here via the basement, the tomb, the well. There's actually a lot of ways to get down here. So 6 is the tomb entrance. Or via the basement. Cliffside, which is where we came from. The fountain. Okay, so you can get here from the fountain, the cliffside. If I had the basement door, that would make it easy. Or the tomb. Okay, I think I'm blocked because of the minecart. Ugh. Okay. Alright, so I need to move the minecart. Which can be done a myriad of ways. I need to figure out how the heck do I drain the last little bit of water. What are those? Alright. That was a lot for a day. I would kill for a basement key. But I don't have one. But I now do, strictly speaking, have unfettered access of the basement. Yeah. What are you? Oh, I just need to move you. What are you missing out of your hand? Power hammer was such a lucky pickup, bro. I can't believe I did that. Okay. Cool. Kind of. Except I think I'm trapped down here now. Where's the dang basement key? I can't get out of here. Oh, yes I can. Haha. Snuck through. Alright. Well, that was all very, very fascinating. So I need to move the minecart. I need to figure out how to drain the reservoir just a little bit more. How on earth am I gonna do that? I stared at that for a long time, couldn't figure it out. It doesn't matter. I didn't see anything out here. I still have 46 steps in the day, so I can continue looking for things. I honestly might put the sledgehammer back in storage. That was a pretty sick pickup. Secret garden key would be good too. Okay. That was crazy. Let's go down here and see if there's anything down here I can pick up. Guys, I didn't win tickets to Aladdin on Broadway. No, that's so sad, brother. Alright. Sorry, somebody's texting me. Okay, let's... I don't remember what's down here in the precipice, but there might be something. Foreman's log. Yikes. Yeah, All I'm missing is the... I think I'm only missing a queen for this one. Dining room. Oh, I didn't craft a dining room today? That's so weird. Okay. Storeroom is a pawn. Oh, that was not correct. Is my king not correct? I could have sworn that there's a king in the office. There's not? Am I wrong about that? Huh? Huh? Okay, anyways. I don't think that's right. There it is. Okay, well, oh, wait, I'm dumb. That's a queen. I'm dumb. King's right here. Hello. There she goes. Where's my chapel today? 3 up. Okay. Chapel. Then where did I see a knight today? Or... oh, rook. I didn't spawn a security room today. Doesn't matter because I have a queen. Such a bummer, dude. Okay, I don't have a queen today. The only place I've seen a queen is her ladyship's room, which is kind of a bummer because I've only ever seen that room twice. Knock, knock! No? Okay. Cool. Foreman's copy of how to read sigils. We knew that. Okay. So I have nothing for the chess pieces today because I don't have her ladyship's room. Or another room with a queen in it. And nothing worked with the hammer. Which is a bummer, brother. That's okay though. We see if we can smash these crates. Or the walls. I'd love to smash the crates. I'd love to walk over the crates. I'd love to light the torches. I have nothing to light the torches with. Okay, I think... dang. What outside rooms do I have today? A courtyard, that's it? Okay. That's such a bummer, brother. Man, if I had a secret garden or a freaking greenhouse, I'd be cooking with gas. But I don't. But I don't. Okay. Let me go see. Okay, no, I have a tool shed. I can't trade anything today. That's so stupid. Okay. Of course not. Why would I be able to do that? I'm not gonna make a freaking wish. Grr. Okay. Bro. did not find any more shmoney, which is a big booty bummer. Zanuck, the library. I never drafted a library in the perimeter. So fascinating to me. Yeah, you know, it was worth a shot. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna check the power hammer, because that ended up being really useful, and I know I've seen brick walls somewhere, but I can't remember where. I want to go check the courtyard really fast, because we're now looking for white trees for some reason. Couldn't tell you why. Okay, I have to go this way. These trees are not white. Alas. Okay, we're cooked for today, right? Yeah, we call it. Okay, holy smokes. That was a long day, guys. That's pretty dope, though. That was a pretty good day, honestly. What did that music code say? Find among the white trees something something stores. So I need the other 2 sheets of music. Okay. Nodders. Oh, we've been having good luck drafting north first. Let's do the den. You know, I like a mailroom pickup. We read that note. Oh, I did solve that. That's how we ended up with gem allowance. We read that letter from our father. Lead technician. We read that. Okay, I don't think there's anything in here for us right now. Let's go try to draft around it. This is a good early pickup. Rabbit's foot. Greater chance of finding items. I like that. Neat. Let's go this way. Let's do a drawing room. I like this pickup. It's a net 0. Let's go this way. Let's do a bedroom. Not been having luck with parlor games. And that gives us 5 extra steps. I don't like the chapel pickup, but I will draft it, and then I will go back this way. I'd rather connect this. I need to change in my notes that there's a rook in here, not a knight. I have it in my notes as a knight, and that's wrong. It's a rook. There's a bishop in the church. Which honestly makes sense when you think about it. Give me a garden today. Good fellows. Special cost bypassed. Yippee. Courtyard. Give me the courtyard. I know that seems like a waste, but we did just get 2 gems out of it. I would love to find... Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get the closet with 2 items. A key and a gem is not really what I wanted to see there. But that's okay. I don't mind it. I gotta do West Wing Hall. Otherwise, we're done. Veranda. No, give me a corridor. I made an aquarium, electric eel aquarium. I don't have a shovel yet. A compass is interesting though. Let me check all of these. Okay. Okay, office is my only option here. Did I get a gem in here? Yeah. I fully expected that to be locked. Passageway is a great pickup here. We're out of gems. That's unsurprising. That's unsurprising. Kind of surprising. Okay, lots of steps today, which is fun. Okay, if I'd have to find the secret garden, brother. That's such a pain. All right, we'll take the salmon because I already have the aquarium. So that's an extra 30 steps for us today. All right. I have a few items that I can, strictly speaking, trade. Alright, we just have to go all the way through. I have no way of opening that chest. Go through here, through the secret passage, through the church. Doesn't matter which way I go. Let's go through the bedroom. Oh, wait. Bedroom is this way. Okay. We come up here. And we hope that this is the tomb today. We want the tomb. There it is. Okay, this is great news. And we have a lot of steps with which to accomplish our tasks here. I need to pull your thing back down. Do, 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 do. I like the big arrow. I don't know why that rubble looked so weird to me. Alright, we go through here. Grab this stupid minecart. Pull it out of the frickin' way. Stupid. This is the torch room, which we have yet to figure out how to light anything. Wish I could just pick you up, but the game won't let me. Okay, we come out here. The boat's all the way down there, so I can't do anything with that. Come over here. Yep, that still has water because that is the well that is full. Okay, so now we go out into the grounds. And we can go down the other way. Through the mountain passage. And we'll be able to get a little bit farther along in that puzzle. This is a very long run back. I am not a fan. I also don't have my hammer today, which is low-key a bummer. There's also a ton of dirt patches down here, but I don't have jack squat with me today. I got really far in the house, but I don't jack squat to show for it. Alright. Alright, we made it back to the west path. We're still looking for white trees. I see no white trees. No, nowhere. Alright. I see the white trees. Find among the white trees something stores. Is that what that said? Stores? Really? The 8th word is stores? DSM, are you sure? No. The answer is no, I'm not sure. Stones! Stones. I'm stupid. These stones are suspicious. What about the stones over here? Maybe I need to hit these with the hammer. Okay, alright, we come back here with the jackhammer. Now we know where the white trees are. We come back here another day with brute force, fear and trembling. I haven't found the last 2 sheets of music, but I feel like it's a pretty good guess. Okay, through the sealed entrance into here. See, this would be a great time for me to have the basement key because then, well, I would still need the key card. There's a boiler pipe going into the basement, which is interesting. Anyways, moving on. Hello, reservoir. Okay, that passageway is now open. Praise be. We do that. We go through here. All that run back just for like that. It's so annoying. Come in here, run across here. You raise me up. Yippee-ki-yay for me. Okay. Go across. This leads to... Huh? Almost 3 years in the tunnels, SNR has informed me that we will be closing up site in June. It has somewhat been a bittersweet experience working on such a historically significant excavation for the last 30-odd months, yet being unable to share any of that work with the world. Maybe one day. Still, there's a significant amount of work that has to be done, and it is vitally important that we conclude our efforts in the main cavern and reinforce the structural integrity of the site before we seal the tunnels next month. It may be many generations before they are reopened. Huh? Hello? Aha. Aha. Wait. This way. Here we go. This takes me... Yup. I want it facing the other way. That just leads me to the map. let's do that. Oh no, that just rotates it. Okay. I don't think we've been over here when it's been like this. I think we win. Okay, we've made it to the underpass. It was unlocked. That's odd. Ooh, glitch. What the heck, brother? Where the heck am I? Inner Sanctum, underground, bro. Well, there goes the door. Okay, so we figured out how to open the bloody door. Okay, we found the 46th room. Okay. None of those doors open. We could beat the game. If I had a way of getting to the secret garden. But I don't. I do not, in fact, have a way to get to the secret garden. So yippee-ki-yay for me. That's a bummer. Make a permanent pass over here? Looks like I can. Sick. Alright, cool. I can now get over here whenever I need to, which is great. I do not have a key to the secret garden, which is a bummer. That's really the only thing I need to do. freaking open that door. I don't know how to do that. This music shift is really throwing me off. It's like so hopeful, but I'm like, brother, it could be another month before I actually make it to the antechamber with the door friggin' opened. But at least now I can come down here and open it anytime I want to. Which is good news for us. Okay, alright, I think we just skedoodle for the day. This is such a bummer, but yeah, we're cooked today. That's okay though. All right, we can open door 46 anytime. So that's great. That's great news for us. I have no way of getting to the secret garden today. And all of the doors are locked. So I don't think there's anything else I can do. I can't store anything, so I think we call it there. Alright, well, that's how we get to the 46th room. I'm pretty happy about that. We're gonna call it there. It's been about 4 hours now, so. Holy moly hot dog. That was... I didn't solve any puzzles, which is kind of a bummer. Like, puzzle-wise, really. I got lucky a couple times with some stuff. But no, like, real hardcore puzzles. But that's okay. No judgment. We did the best we could today. We did figure out how to get to the 46th room. We have seen the 46th door. Even if we can't get there. I'll have to think on that. Alright. Well, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, much love to you all. I will see you all next week when we play more Age of Imprisonment. And I'll try to put videos out on the YouTube as much as possible. But until then, much love to you all. See ya!